This video is all about winter arc and how you can make the most out of the season for you. I think the first thing that we should do is to reframe the season. So I'm talking about roughly from October until the end of December. Most of us know this time as like hibernating time, where we hibernate until the beginning of spring and basically just stay inside under our blanket and do nothing. But I think the slower season is actually a chance to rebuild and to reconnect with yourself and your goals. And normally people wait until the 1st of January to start with their New Year resolutions. But what a great feeling is it if you already do a little bit of preparations beforehand and if you start to reconnect with yourself and your goals already in October. So you have like this pre-time that sets you into the right mindset to begin your new year 2026 freshly and with a clear mindset and with knowing exactly what you want. And to get into that stadium, it's important to make the most out of those slower months. So my first tip is also something that I have to work on myself. But my first tip for the season would be to really cut down on your social plans, especially if it's with people that are not very close to you. So you don't have to go out every weekend, and you should really try to, cut down on those plans with people, because not only do you waste a lot of money on like drinks or food if you go to restaurants or to bars, or even if you go to clubs, you also have to pay entry, but it also saves a lot of energy. And this energy is so important because in those months, we are already naturally drained a bit. It's getting dark so early, the days are really short, and energetically, we also tend to be more tired and unmotivated. So the energy that is left to us, do we really want to put that into social meetings that don't really serve us in the long run? I don't mean that you shouldn't meet like your close friend or that you shouldn't go on intentional meetup with friends. And even if you meet your friends, if you share the same interests or like similar goals, maybe you can come up with something that serves you. Maybe you can say like, okay, today we're gonna stay in, we're gonna cook a fresh, healthy dinner, and we're gonna do like a self-care evening, or I don't know. It can also be dedicated time to relax and to watch your favorite TV show together. But yeah, I think it's important to romanticize the time that you have with your friends and to not just go out randomly, waste money, waste time and energy. And also what I think when it comes to alcohol is that it has just like a different touch than in summer. In summer, I feel like we drink with ease. It's a little bit more bright outside. But in winter, drinking can also make you feel worse. Yeah, you can really rethink your consumption and what you want to put into your body as well. Which leads me to my second tip. I think this time of the year is also perfect to focus on your health and your body again. What I try to do right now is to really build a gym routine that is easy for me to complete. So I don't want to be unrealistic and try to go to the gym like 6 times a week. I know that that's probably not going to happen, but I think it's good to know yourself and to try to build like a realistic routine. So maybe you have like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays where you try to go to the gym, maybe even before work if you have the ability to do that, or like after work, or if the gym is near you, maybe you can squeeze it into your lunch break as well. But it's just important to keep regular movement into your schedule and to make it a priority, because it's true that how your body feels really influences how you feel mentally. And in those dark winter months, we want to feel good mentally. We don't want to get into like a winter depression. So I think moving your body, even if it's different movements, if you're more like into going on long walks or into like dancing, whatever it could be, just try to find something that you will stick to and that also brings you joy and that is fun to you, and really try to include it into your daily life, because it will pay off so much when you move your body and when you stay fit. So my next tip would be to try to be there. What I mean by that is, so I'm in my 20s right now, and I feel like in our 20s, we are always thinking about the next thing to do, and we're not very present. At least I catch myself in not really being present, but whatever you do in those months or in life, like generally speaking, try to really be there. Try to be there with your senses. Try to be as present as possible in anything you do, like in any conversation that you have, or even if it's making your bed in the morning or like, looking out the window. Really try to be present in the moment and to bring yourself back into the presence. I think, especially in winter, it can also help us to feel good mentally. And I love to talk about stuff like this, but you can really try to include like practices like meditation, for example, because it can help you to ground yourself and to really calm down your mind, especially if it's always on autopilot and if it's always, like going on and on. You want to try to be more in the here and now and to really be there, if it's with yourself or with the people in your life. You will regret if you didn't look up your phone, or if you didn't get out of your head and if you didn't really live your life, because yeah, being there just means to live your life consciously. And I think in those dark winter months, we can really try to do that a bit more. And of course, another thing that's like one of the key points of winter arc is to realign with your goals. So whatever it is, if it's like your career, where do you want to be in the next 2 years, you can also just ask yourself, do you still want to do the job that you are in right now? Is it still fulfilling you? Or if it's your relationship, how can you work on your relationship or like your friendships in your life? Is there something that you can improve? And how do you honestly feel about the state that you're in right now? And I think reviewing your own goals is important during the whole year. We tend to forget to look back on the goals that we set in the beginning of the year. But especially now, you can really sit down again and look at those pages that you probably wrote in January and really see, what did you achieve? Where are areas that you can still work on and that you can improve? Yeah, just be honest with yourself when you sit down. Also, it's absolutely okay if your goals or intention changed. That's also a thing that you can find out, and that's good to know. You can also look at your financial planning, which is something that I'm really bad at. And yeah, in general, just try to go back into like your habits and do the habit building. If it's like a little morning routine that you wanted to include for the longest time, I think it has something magical to wake up in the morning and it's still dark outside and you light your little candle and you have like your book or your journal and a hot tea and just like those quiet minutes to yourself. If you don't live alone, those minutes are sacred. Like this time just to yourself also strengthens the relationship that you have with yourself, which leads me to my last tip, which is like pour into yourself as much as possible. I think it just sums up all the things that I just said, but you will be the one that is always with you, that will be always in your life. There will never be a relationship that is more important than this relationship that you have with yourself. So the more you pour into yourself, the better you feel, and also the more you can give back to the people in your life. Just do whatever feels best to you, and also remember that discipline is love. You are harsh on yourself because you love yourself. You wake up a little bit earlier in the mornings and have a bit time to yourself, or go to the gym because you promised yourself that you're gonna take care of yourself. Take care of yourself as if you are the greatest love in your life. You should really treat yourself like someone you love deeply, because it will improve your life so much if you're like on good terms with yourself and if you're proud of the person that you are. So yeah, these were my thoughts on winter arc, and I hope this video inspired you. Let me know how you're gonna spend your winter arc, and I hope to see you in my next one really soon. Bye!